to vertical mode for a couple different reasons. You know what? Because I'm raw and real. There is no teleprompter, there are no notes, and guess what? We are on a historical voyage today. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a voyage. But hey, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. All things positivity, self-improvement, personal growth. Glad you're here. We're at Valley Forge. Valley Forge, where Washington gathered the troops for 6 months of training the Continental Army that had to really up their game. They had suffered some severe losses. And here we are at the National Memorial Arch, waiting for some more people to pile in here. What beautiful weather we're having here on this historical tour. Yesterday was a full day, 12 hours really, 3-hour drive down to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, visiting where the great battle took place there in the Civil War. And now we're here today really at a Revolutionary War site, Valley Forge. Very important things that took place here, where George Washington had the Continental Army, who was had suffered a couple big losses, and they ended up coming here by plan to spend 6 months here to really refurbish the troops and regroup and really provide some training from input from the French. And then after an inspection by the government, the Continental troops were actually amply then supplied with food, and they created their own shelter and huts here. And now we are at the National Memorial Arch. And George Washington, his statement, this arch was designed after an arch in Rome. Is that right, Rick?
Yeah, the triumphal arch of Rome.
The triumphant arch of Rome is what this was patterned after. And here it is. Naked and starving as they are, we cannot enough admire the incomparable patience and fidelity of the soldier. And what these soldiers had to endeavor in the battles that were to come in winter. They were wintering here because the British soldiers, by pattern, right, recognizing patterns and habits, they had a habit and pattern of not involving themselves in battle during the winter. So George Washington took advantage of that. Hey everybody, glad you're checking in. Hey, hello, good morning. I'm here at the National Memorial Arch at Valley Forge. George Washington, Valley Forge and Freemasonry represent patriotism, freedom, and at the same time, he was President of the United States. Through the preservation of this National Memorial Arch in 1996 to 1997, the Freemasons of Pennsylvania sought to honor the memory of George Washington, a national hero, patriot, prominent Freemason, and to honor the brave men who endured the winter encampment here at Valley Forge. And there's the National Memorial Arch, which was patterned after the great arch in Rome. And there it is, the National Memorial Arch, everybody. And you're here. I'm glad you're joining me. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, it's great to visit these sites where really the American Revolutionary War was being waged, and responsible for the preservation of our great country. I'm here taking you along with me. If you haven't already, you're always going to be exposed to just great things, self-improvement, personal growth, motivation, inspiration. I'm gathering a lot of inspiration and motivation from what these troops had to go through. The Colonial Army, volunteers as they were, but then again, not allowed to leave as they were promised, but they fought on under George Washington. And here is here's the arch, everybody. And the inscription, you might not be able to see it. It says, naked and starving as they are, we cannot enough admire the incomparable patience and fidelity of the soldier. Washington at Valley Forge, February 16th, 1778. Amazing, everybody. Hey, thanks for coming along. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I just had to go live right here. It's just been a very, today's been a very heartwarming visit here to Valley Forge to see the hardships that not only the soldiers, but their family and followers had to go through as they followed the troops through the muddy winter here at Valley Forge, where they had some help from the French. They had some French people come and assist with training the soldiers to finally, these soldiers came from all over with different training, different experiences, and a haggard group that had suffered some losses in a row. And so then the French came forward as they, as they were also waging war against King George III. So they had a motivation to see us prevail in our endeavors to be a sovereign nation and break free from Britain. It's awesome that they came and those that had military experience helped George Washington and us train our colonial soldiers so that we could persevere. Hello, everybody. Hello. This is not, is this India? We're here in the United States of America, everybody. We're talking Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, and we are just 20 miles from Pennsylvania, which at one time was the capital of the United States. And then the Britain took it over, and then we moved it to York, and then we never gave up. We didn't, even though the capital was taken, we came here, and then we rallied, trained the troops during the winter while they were here at Valley Forge under harsh conditions, and then got ready for the battles to come that we would definitely win and help us in our sovereign quest to be a sovereign nation of the United States. Thanks for checking in, everybody. United States, USA, everybody. This is a great history of the United States and under George Washington's leadership. Let me change hands here. Shoulders getting tired there. I'm going to switch up. But this is they picked this location high on a hill so they could see the British troops if they were to attack. And so they always had sentries, and they had watch, and they kept track if the British soldiers were ever tried to attack. But in the meantime, they were starving. Basically, they were starving to death, and without bread, there would be no soldiers. And some amazing things happened here, and one of them was that they got training, and they got food eventually. They had an inspection by the government who came down and said, oh, these people are starving. They need support. And then people gave money, and France gave money and arms and training and helped us. Big responsibility for our quest as a sovereign nation. And many of you may know the history better than I. I'm learning so much on this trip. Hey, one of the things I talk about is we need to be lifelong learners. And one of the things I've been remiss at is being any expertise or the knowledge that I should have on the founding of our great nation and the history of how it was founded, the Revolutionary War, and how we broke free from Britain, and some of the details that happened there. So thank you. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'm Cliff Yates. I'm glad you're here. I'm in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. I'm on a little trip here where we visited yesterday Gettysburg, a Civil War battlefield, and where Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address. And so I'm on a lifelong trip of learning in life, but also this is a 5-day trip visiting some Revolutionary War sites, and also we visited the Civil War site of the Gettysburg battle. And so that's what I'm doing, and I'm glad I'm taking you along with me. If I haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'm Cliff Yates. If you haven't already subscribed, and if you're just finding me on the shorts feed, stumbling along, I'm crazy motivated, crazy Cliff Yates. I know I have the energy of a 12-year-old, but I am 68, everybody. Hey, listen, always good stuff, always self-improvement, personal growth. I was a cop for 35 years. I was a deputy sheriff out of Los Angeles for 30. I was a stand-up comedian, an actor, producer. Now I'm a podcaster, writer. I got a book out there called, it's called Deputy. My life as a deputy sheriff, starting in upstate New York, upstate, very rural areas just like this, and then eventually going to Los Angeles and, fighting crime in the streets of LA, sometimes in South Central, gang-infested areas. And now I'm here in Pennsylvania, visiting historical sites. We're staying in Philadelphia. At one time, I didn't know it was the capital of the United States. So learning a lot this trip. My friends that are with me, they have been visiting Revolutionary War battle sites and historic places around the country for the past 5, 6, 7 years. And so they are a wealth of knowledge, more than myself. And hopefully my good buddy, who's just a walking encyclopedia on the history of the United States of America specifically, hopefully we'll be doing a podcast tonight together, and have y'all check in there. I want to acknowledge you guys, if I can, without my glasses. Hey, Boss Business in Indonesia for women, shop houses in Indonesia. Prices are very cheap. 100 meters is only $100. I'm there. I'm with you. I'm coming. Good to meet you from Indonesia. This is the great thing about, this is why it's the greatest time to be alive, everybody. This is why it's the greatest time to be alive, is because of our ability to have a positive impact on other people and to expand our influence. I often talk how when I was a kid of 14 and 15 years old, I loved to take my father's Super 8mm video camera, and I would video things. That would create scenes, you know, produce my own little movies, take the video to be, you know, developed, and then I would show it to family and friends on the projector. And now, in this day and age, we are able to turn on the camera and I can broadcast to the world live simultaneously. People from Indonesia are now hearing me. I am this National Arch, everybody. The National Arch commemorating what our troops did, the colonial troops, in the Revolutionary War that led to our independence from Britain. And visiting these sites is pretty amazing. Yesterday it was about the Civil War sites. So the death, 50,000 citizens dead, injured, or missing in that great battle of Gettysburg. Citizen against citizen, North against South. The country was torn apart, and yet came back together, and the Union was saved. But this site here, this site, commemorating what we did as a country to break free, to go to battle with Britain, the Redcoats, and become a sovereign, independent nature and an independent nation of freedom. Glad you're coming along. If you haven't already, subscribed to the channel. I'm live and in person, and I do go live frequently. Why? Because I want to be raw and real. I am not reading from a teleprompter. I'm not reading from notes. It's all from my head, through my heart, and out my damn big mouth. I'm glad you're here, everybody. If you haven't already, subscribe. Let's get some subscribers here as we visit some very amazing historical sites here. I'm at the National Arch here, and I'm going to continue. My friends are walking. And this whole Valley Forge area, 10,000, 12,000 troops that Washington had here, disheveled, some without shoes and freezing. It was a muddy area. And there was no battles here. No one ever attacked them here. And what they did here was regroup and refurbish and get some food and get some training and recover from some amazing losses that they had incurred. And you know, get ready to get stronger, trained up with the help of the French, and then go on to win battles so that we could become the country that we are today. In the background, the National Arch. All right, everybody, I'm going to leave you. Thanks for checking in. I'm glad you checked in with me. There'll be some more videos coming from this trip. I get so enamored in what I'm looking at on the trip, I forget to turn the camera on. But today, I couldn't forget. And I said, well, you know what a better place to go live here and connect with you people than in the National Arch, which is modeled after a similar arch in Rome. You guys are wonderful. I want to encourage you, subscribe to the channel, everybody. You won't be disappointed. I try my best always to put out better and better content, stuff that maybe has some meaning, to have a positive impact on other people. No greater joy. That's the way I feel. That's the way I act. It's all true. All right, everybody, I'll see you in the next video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel.